Some of us came by car, some by train, some of us walked to freeze. Some of us came here to work, and some came to play. Some of us were born here, and some got here as quick as we could. We're here now, and that's how we got to freeze. In this episode, Cheryl Emory tells a very compelling story of how she and her husband Coy found freeze and a new family.
My name is Cheryl Emory, and I grew up as a young girl in Christiansburg. My story is unusual, to say the least. I was riding my bike with my husband Coy. We would ride up here, we would go to the shot tower and park, and then we would ride into Freeze. We would stop and have lunch at that little cafe that was right there where the laundromat used to be. Can't remember the name of it, but we always ate there. Excellent food, lots of good people to talk to, and then we'd ride back to the shot tower and go home. This was in about 2004. After that, I'd be going to the doctor and they would say, "Do you have a family history?" I'm adopted and I don't know. So I got to thinking about it and I thought, they've got these tests they can do that you'll see if you've got any markers for anything. Maybe that's a good thing for me to try to do. So I did that, and fortunately everything came back fine as far as health issues were concerned. But suddenly I was getting these messages, "You've got a relative." Little did I know when I was looking for the health issues, it was also looking at the DNA and would pop up a relative. I didn't even think about that. So the more it kept popping up, these relatives, the more interested I became in who these people were. And I contacted the Children's Home Society out of Lynchburg, and they assigned me a caseworker. And the caseworker helped me put together all of the history of when I was born and being in a foster home for a year, through the adoption with my parents. So I took all of that information and worked diligently. I can't tell you the number of hours I spent at the dining room table with papers here and everywhere, trying to piece everything together. And finally, I had enough information. I went back to the caseworker and I said, "Freeze, Virginia." And she said, "Yes, it is, yes, Freeze, Virginia." So at that point, I packed up what I call my box, and here we came, not knowing anybody in this town. But the first person that I contacted was Becky Moore. She was a godsend to me in the search, and she has done this before and helped me put all the information together. And I found out I had an entire family that was here in this town. Brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts. It was just absolutely amazing to me that these people were here. And I'm thinking, and I told Becky, I said, "What do I do now?" She said, "Well, you don't do anything. You go meet them." And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, scary. Here I show up with my box of information and I say, "I am your niece. I am your sister." These people could just slam the door in my face. But the more I thought about it, I thought if the shoe was reversed, would I want the opportunity to say yay or nay to someone that came to my door that said they were my sister, my brother? I would have wanted that opportunity, and I thought, you've come this far, this is the last step. So I had my box, and I went to my brother and sister who were at the same place at that time and introduced myself. They did not want to see, and I'm holding this box and I'm starting to take papers out, and I said, "I've got all this documentation and this and that." They said, "We don't need to see any of that." And that was the response I got from every single person. We don't need to see that. Your eyes look like so-and-so. Your smile is grandma's. Those were the responses I got. So from there, I have built a complete relationship with my family. And I have been blessed because I had my adopted family, who unfortunately for me have all passed at this point, but had a wonderful life with them. And now I'm given a second chance to have a wonderful life with my family here in Freeze. I wanted to be around them. They wanted me here. We decided that we would start looking for a house. Coy and I went and we looked and decided on one of them and bought the house, worked ourselves doing the renovations in the house. We wanted to keep all the character, because to me, the houses here also tell a story. And it's interesting to know who lived in those houses, and we wanted to keep as much of the character. Listen to the stories about the houses here, the people that lived in them, about the bell, the sidewalk, how the bell would ring, they'd walk to work. So we felt very much a part of the history of the town, because most, if not all of my relatives did work at the mill. That's how we got to Freeze.